The following is a presentation of WCMP Sports, local sports.
Past the 25, to the 20, to the 15, he's going to high step into the end zone, touchdown!
Here, wide receivers split each side.
He's still going into the end zone.
East Central Minnesota, the action starts now. To bring you the call, here's Ethan Game Day Gilman.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside Pine City High School for tonight's girls basketball matchup between your Pine City Dragons and the Hinckley-Finlayson Jaguars. I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman, as the intro did mention, and I am here and I am ready to bring you this game between the Hinckley-Finlayson Jaguars and the Pine City Dragons. Again, it is a conference matchup here between these two teams, and a little bit of a crazy afternoon for both of these teams. It started out with this game being at 7 o'clock, but unfortunately the Jags didn't have enough players. Now, I don't know if it's sickness or what, or hopefully it's not injury or sickness, but then that doesn't leave much else. So we're not sure what it is. We're not going to speculate either. We're just going to hope for a good game here tonight between these two teams, as it is a Great River Conference game, and the Pine City Dragons and the Hinckley-Finlayson Jaguars going at it here tonight. And as I said before, it should be a good one. It should be a really good one, in fact. And I really think that tonight's game I'm not sure how it's going to go. I could give a guess, but I don't know. These games are so much fun, and both these teams obviously want to come in and play their best. But man, I tell you, I think between this game and all the other games going on around us, we have some good matchups on tap here for this evening. And again, this game starting a little bit early due to a little bit of unfortunate happening for the Jaguars. Not enough players, so but it is okay. They still got enough to field a varsity team, and that's what we're out here to take care of, is some varsity action as we get set for this game. Taking a look at our matchup here tonight between these two teams, see if we can get the video up for you. But taking a look at these two teams, starting with the Hinckley-Finlayson Jaguars, 0-7 in their section. Now they play out of Section 7 AA, and they're also 2-18 on the season. It's been a learning year for them. It's been a tough one, but it has been one that they've had to grow with, and hopefully they'll continue to grow. They're 2-18 overall. They score 37 points per game, give up about 67 points per game on the season. Now, a lot of people might see a team with this kind of record and go, well, this could be a blowout. Well, I don't think so. I think you can look at it that way, but I think you look at this game, one, it's a conference game. And anytime you have a conference game, it's always going to be close. Even if it doesn't look close, it is going to be close. For the Hinckley-Finlayson Jaguars, their 2 wins on the season came after the Christmas break. In the new year, they beat Morrow by 2, 55-53, and then they beat Duluth-Denfeld just this Saturday, 58-52. So they have had a bit of a long week, even though, again, they only had 2 games. But they did play on Saturday and now tonight with, unfortunately, not enough young ladies to form a JV. But, again, we're not going to focus on that because they have enough for a varsity, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. So, again, only 2 wins, but both of them have come after the Christmas break, so heading in the right direction. But we look at some of them at the start of the regular season. I mean, only a 7-point loss to East Central, one where, turned a few things around, it goes their way. And then only a 5-point loss to Hibbing, all before the Christmas break. So there's 2 more that they could have won, and I'm sure in their minds thinking they should have won. A 9-point loss to Mille Lacs, another one where you could turn it around and say, probably should have won that game. So they could have, 4 or 5 wins on the season, but unfortunately, again, some younger talent on this roster, some inexperience on the roster as well, has led to the record of what it is. So, and it's really unfortunate that, sometimes it doesn't go your way, and teams have the record that they're didn't expect to have at this point in the season. But the fun part about high school sports in Minnesota is everybody makes the playoffs, no matter your record. You don't have to qualify for the playoffs like in some states. No, in this state, everyone makes the playoffs, and you never know what can happen in the playoffs. I mean, it wasn't too long ago in football where Mora was one of the top seeds in their section, and Foley came in and got an upset late, and it was like, whoa, where did that come from? And then Foley made it to their section championship game where they eventually fell to Malacca. But it's just those crazy things that can happen in the playoffs, and that's why you always stick around for the playoffs. As we look at the Pine City Dragons, they are getting hot at the right time, and they're hoping they can continue it all throughout the rest of the regular season. They're currently 1-2 in the section, but 11-9 overall. According to this MinnesotaScores.net, they score 50 points per game, give up 60. I think that might need to be updated because their scoring as of late has been over 60 points per game, except for one in which they had to make a comeback. But taking a look at their season, it wasn't the greatest of starts. In fact, they started 1-4 on the season, losing to Crosby, Ogilvie, Aiken, and then beating Mora, but then falling to Proctor. And I tell you right now, that Ogilvie and Aiken game are two they feel like they should have won. Then they won 3 in a row against St. Croix Prep, St. Francis, and Esco before the Christmas break when they lost to Cromwell Wright, then beat Cloquet in their tournament up there in Cloquet. Coming out, it was again a tough start. A 1-3 start where they fell to Foley, Bram, and Malacca, but beating Hinckley-Finlayson there in between. After that, they beat Mille Lacs and East Central, fell to Crosby, but have since been on a 3-game winning streak. It started last week, Monday, against Barnum. Then they had a comeback against Piers. That was, a phenomenal comeback. And then they beat Moose Lake Willow River on Friday up there at Moose Lake Community School, 62-55. So a little bit of a hot streak the Dragons are on as of late, and they hope that it continues throughout the rest of the regular season, because the rest of the regular season, albeit tough, there are games in there in which they can win and need to win in order for section seeding to get a little bit better of a seeding so they can have a home game. As of right now, they're still bottom 8. So they're not a bottom 8 team by any stretch of the imagination, but their seeding is going to be 9 through 16 or 15, whatever it is. So unfortunately, they will not have, at this point, a home playoff game. But if they can continue to get wins and stack up the wins, they should be able to get enough to where they'll be able to get a home playoff game. Now, and I say that because sorry, I was concentrating on something else. But I say that because, again, if they win here tonight, they've got a chance to beat Aiken on Thursday, a team who they lost to earlier in the season, only by 5 points. So that's a big game there in which they can win in a game which they felt they should have probably won earlier in the season. But now they get to get them here at Pine City. You talk about a turnaround, that is one that they'll look to do. So they could honestly win 5 in a row. They'll play then Bram next Tuesday here at Pine City, which, again, the last time they played, a little bit lopsided. It was an 80-44 victory for Bram. But this Pine City team, I think, has got a newfound confidence, a newfound sense of play and mesh as a team and growth as a team. So I think this Pine City team, get it here at Pine, I think they can win it. So, and then we continue on after Bram. Next Friday, it'll be a short week next Friday. They'll play this week, again, Monday, Thursday, then next week, Tuesday, Friday. Next Friday's game is hosting Mora. That you're hoping is a win for if you're Pine City. But, again, Mora's a really tough team, and they might not be getting hot per se, but they're also playing some really tough basketball as of late and making sure that they're making it tough on teams. And then they got Spectrum and Royalton. They'll travel to Spectrum and then host Royalton. Those are 2 big games because if they win the Spectrum game, I mean, Royalton, that could make all the difference in the world for their playoff seeding. So you look at those 2 games to wrap up the season, although they are going to be probably 2 of the tougher games that they've had other than Bram and Crosby, those are the 2 games where you're looking at and saying, if we can get those 2 wins, you're looking at the playoffs now and saying we get to host a playoff game round 1, and that would be of the utmost importance if they can do that. So you're getting a home playoff game round 1 and not, I mean, the difference is night and day. It really is, because then you get to come home to the comforts of your own fans. You know your home gymnasium. You know the lake. You know everything's familiar to you. So hopefully for Pine City, they're able to pull that off and get a home playoff game. Of course, if you're just tuning in, this game is starting a little bit early due to some different circumstances. So if other people are waiting to find out when this one starts, waiting until 7, well, message them, let them know, hey, it's starting at 5:30. So get them on board here ASAP. Looks like we are going to be getting our national anthem, and then we'll have our pregame warm-ups, or our lineups, rather, starting lineups. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the national anthem have been played, and then we'll get your starting lineups for you here between the Dragons and the Jaguars in this girls basketball Great River Conference game here on Anthem Country, 106.5 FM, AM 1350, WCMP.
The Duluth Sports Show is back February 13th through 16th.
Shop the latest gear and explore a massive selection of boats, docks, lifts, ATVs, RVs, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and more.
Save big with exclusive show-only pricing. Grab cash and carry items to take home and enjoy family-friendly entertainment.
Come for the deals, stay for the fun.
If there's too much to see, come back a second day for free.
February 13th through 16th at the Deck in Duluth.
Your ticket to outdoor adventure awaits at DuluthSportsShow.com.
Resetting your password, unsubscribing from emails, printing anything. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with an auto owner's insurance independent agent, getting the right coverage for your business doesn't have to be one of them, so you can get back to more important things, like learning how that printer works. That's simple human sense.
Contact your local auto owner's agency, Pine Insurance Agency, at pineagency.us today.
Need a prescription or medication advice? Wellia Health's community pharmacies in Mora and Pine City are open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Our friendly pharmacists are here to answer your questions and to help with prescription transfers. Call us at Pine City 320-322-5141 or Mora 320-679-3999 or visit welliahealth.org.
Whoa! Better get into the Freeway Holiday Station store in Pine City and start saving. Right now, grab a Meat Lover's burrito or new Ranchero beef and cheese burrito. I want one right now. Wash it down with everyone's favorite Celsius, buy one, get one free. And Holiday still has the $3, $4, $5 meal deals on some of your favorite items. Better get into the Freeway Holiday Station store and save. Open 24/7, 365. The Freeway Holiday Station store in Pine City.
Your journey to smile with your forever starts at Embrace Orthodontics. The team at Embrace is committed to providing world-class care and a remarkable orthodontic experience. Choose between custom Light Force braces or Invisalign clear aligners with locations in Pine City, Lindstrom, and Cambridge, and a plan to fit your budget, whether you have insurance or not. Embrace Orthodontics will make your smile journey comfortable, convenient, and customized just for you. Visit EmbraceMN.com today to find out how to set up your free exam. EmbraceMN.com. Embrace Orthodontics, a smile you will embrace forever.
And now it's time to get your starting lineups here on Anthem Country WCMP. Taking a look, we'll start with the Jaguars of Hinckley-Finlayson. For the Jaguars, it will be number 1, Hazen Taggart. Number 13, Brooklyn Storley. Number 14, Riley Windsor-Scott. Then 41, Rowan Fahey. And number 42, Ava Blowers. They are head coached by Brandon Greenwald. On the other side for your Pine City Dragons, it will be number 2, Mallory Klepper. Number 3, Piper Metling. Number 4, Paige Gray. Number 11, Brooke Boland. And number 14, Retta Ganote gets another start here today, unfortunately, for the Dragons. One of their veterans, Vivian Lanti, still not able to go here this evening, so hopefully she is able to come back sooner than later. Of course, we want her to come back healthy as well. The Dragons, of course, are head coached by Patrick Judd. The Jags will be wearing their white away uniforms, the red letters and numbers with the red trim on the sleeve and then on the bottom of the short, and then a little bit of a striping pattern on the side of the jersey and short as well. For the Dragons, it's the home greens, the white letters and numbers outlined in black, the black trim on the neck, sleeve, and bottom of the short, and the waistband, and then the Dragon logo on each side of the shorts as well. 18 minutes are up on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Crowd still filing in again. A little bit of change to this game. It was supposed to start at 7, but late they had to switch it to a 5:30 start. So a little bit of a change here. And with that, it doesn't look like we have the huddle camera. Nope. So I will be running camera, trying to keep up. It looks like the Dragons are off and running, and Paige Gray inside for 2 early on. So an early score for Pine City for 2, and the Dragons lead 2-0. Here come the Dragons back, or the Jags back the other way. Fahey with it. Fahey settles it down, gives it off now to Storley. Excuse me, that is Taggart. Apologize. Now over to Storley. Now back to Taggart. Taggart at the top of the key. Fakes one way. Goes inside to Blowers. Blowers then over to Storley. Now to Taggart once again. Taggart thinking about it from the three-point line. Under 10 to shoot. Tries to go inside here to Windsor Scott. Oh my goodness. The granny shot from behind is good. What a shot there by Rowan Fahey. Or excuse me. This three is no good, and then rebounded by Paige Gray on the far side. Trying to go inside to Reddick Note. It's knocked out by a member of the Jags, so it will stay with Pine City. 2-all here in this one. It was Riley Windsor Scott who made that 2 for Hinckley-Finlayson. Want to get the name correct. Inbound from Ganote to Bolin on the far side from 3. Instead, she'll dump it down inside to Mallory Klepper, who lobs it in for 2, and it's 4-2. Early scoring here in this one by both squads. This is, Pine City hasn't had the best of starts in games of the games that we've been at here after Christmas break, but a nice start here. And again, I think it's all about confidence for Pine City going forward. They've gotten these wins in a row. Now they can keep this confidence and grow that confidence going forward, and hopefully, again, go on a little bit of a run. Inbound here on the near side for Fahey. Fahey gives it over to Taggart, now on the far side for Windsor Scott. Windsor Scott drives inside, backs it out to Taggart. Taggart outside the perimeter, now drives inside, gives it over near side Storley. Storley lost it. She's guarded by Gray, now gives it back to Taggart. Taggart at the Dragon logo. Pausing, give it near side to Storley. 4 to shoot, 3 to shoot. A 3 is up and no good. Rebound is taken by Piper Metling, and then she'll give it right back to Klepper. Klepper up the court. She gives it over to Ganote, inside to Bolin. Bolin drives baseline, gives it out to Gray now. Metling now over to Klepper for 3. That's going to be just off the mark. Rebounded by Boland. Boland inside. She's short on the shot, and it is rebounded by Fahey. Rowan Fahey for the Jags gets it. And bringing it up the court. Taggart with it. Gives it off now to Fahey. Fahey along 2. That's just off the mark. And rebound is up for grabs. Fahey gets it. That's one for Pine City, but it's going to be stolen away by Klepper. That's one for Pine City that you have to get the rebound on. It was up for grabs for a while, and that's one where you definitely have to get the rebound. Needed to be just a little bit more aggressive on that rebound chance. It was kind of just laying there for grabs, and if Pine City, they need to get those. They just need to be a tad more aggressive going after it. As now the Jags will inbound after the pass. A little bit high for Pine City. Inbound here to Storley. Storley will go back to Taggart. Taggart back over to Storley. Storley lost it, so unfortunately that's going to go back to Pine City. Crowd still piling in here as, again, a little bit of a notice for this game. As it was supposed to start at 7, but because of some issues, it had to start at 5:30. Pine City with it back. Gray with it now to Metling. Metling on the near side elbow looking, and she's left alone for 3, but that one's going to be just off the mark. And, wow, Windsor Scott comes in there to grab the rebound away from Bolin. Bolin had the angle on it, but Windsor Scott just wanted it more at that point, and she gets the rebound. Taggart brings it up now, gives it off to Storley. Storley gives it over to Windsor Scott. Back over to Fahey. Fahey driving. Guarded by Ganote, and we're going to get Ganote for a foul. Again, she didn't like the call and bumping bodies out there, so it may not get to be too physical of a game. 14:59 to go. 4-2, Pine City leads. This inbound to Taggart, guarded by Gray. She gets around Gray, now drives inside. That ball was up for grabs, still up for grabs. And then it's out of bounds off of a foot, of Pine City, they're going to say. Again, that's one where Pine City should have had the steal, but give Hinckley-Finlayson credit for the effort and the will, the want to go get it. They just at that point wanted it more, so they wound up getting it. Inbound now, and Taggart does just get it inbounded to Windsor Scott. She'll drive inside. Blocked by Klepper. Stolen away by Metling. And she's to the basket and lays it in for 2. 6-2 after that Pine City score. Steal by Metling, but the block by Klepper to set it all up. Fahey trying to give it up to Storley, telling her to go, and then this pass was nearly tipped and stolen away. Fahey inside gives it back Storley. Storley trying to drive baseline, but it's ripped away by Piper Metling, the senior for Pine City. She'll take it up the court. Now give it over far side. Paige Gray left alone. Three's going to come up short. Rebound in the hands of Windsor Scott, and she gives it to Taggart. Addison Taggart, that name's been on this team for a while. She is one of the veteran of this team. Fahey shot no good. Metling will grab the rebound for Pine City. She'll pass it up the court now to Bolin. Metling has a lane inside. The shot is just off the mark. It's knocked out of bounds by a member of Hinckley-Finlayson, so it stays with Pine City. Get a couple substitutions here. 10 and 13 for Pine City would be Rhea Johnson and Kate Unverzant, and then, oh, I missed it. I think 4 and 52 for Hinckley-Finlayson. We'll get you those names as we get an inbound here to Klepper. On the near side, Rhea Johnson gives it near side corner to Bolin. Inside going to Klepper. We're going to get a foul here on Ava Blowers. 4 for Hinckley-Finlayson is McKenna Raby. And then 52 is Eris Ritchie. As the Dragons get it inbounded, Rhea Johnson has it, gives it off Bolin. Bolin, the floater, too strong. And it's going to be rebounded by Blowers. Blowers gives it to Fahey. Fahey now over to Ritchie. Eris Ritchie, a younger member of this Jaguar team. Only a freshman, but getting some valuable varsity minutes. I believe she got some varsity minutes even last year, too. So continuing to grow. Windsor Scott with it, trying to find a lane on Kate Unverzant. And the shot is, no good, but rebounded by Raby. And she got it off the Windsor Scott, and now the shot is no good. Rebounded by Klepper. She'll give it up quickly to Bolin. Finding a cutting Rhea Johnson, who drops it in for 2. Beautiful passing by Pine City. Leads to that 2. Now we're going to get a foul here, I believe, on the Dragons. No. It's going to be on the Jags. First one's up by Bolin and good. Not real sure who they called that one on. They said 31, but there's no 31 out there. 41 maybe? This rebound is up for grabs after the missed free throw by Bolin, and I don't think anybody got it. It's going to go out of bounds, last touch by the Jags. Metling back in for Gray. So Rhea Johnson will inbound. It's 9-2. Bolin goes inside Klepper. Klepper back outside, trying to get it to Metling. It was tipped. Then over to Bolin on the elbow for 3, just off the mark. Hard off the rim, and then this ball's going to be knocked out of bounds by Pine City, trying to get the rebound away from Hinckley-Finlayson, but not able to do so, and the ball will go back to the Jags. Inbound here to Windsor Scott. She looks not bothered by Klepper's presence over there. Now gives it over to Raby. McKenna Raby up the court with it. Bounce pass now to Fahey. Fahey on the near side, working on a kind of a zone double team right now and tries to roll it in. Kate Unverzant is there, though. Then they give underneath. It was tipped. Blowers gets it back and puts it in for 2. It was tipped, and I'm not sure by who. That might have been Kate Unverzant who blocked it, but still a 2 for the Jags. Pine City doing a good job passing this ball around. This one is knocked out of bounds by Hinckley-Finlayson. Raby was there, but I think she thought maybe Pine City touched it last. Not the case, and we'll see Taggart come back in for Windsor Scott. Got a couple seniors. You got Staffney and Taggart, who are the seniors for this team. And now the inbound going to be stolen away by Raby. Unfortunately for Pine City, Klepper just couldn't get a clean grab on the rebound and wound up giving it up. Now with it is Ritchie. Ritchie is going to take a 3 just off the mark. Rebounded by Raby, though. Raby's getting her work in here in her first few minutes in the game. Raby doing a good job. Again, she's a junior. But again, just not a lot of experience with some of these players. And Taggart fell. She somehow kept dribbling the ball. And then almost a cool play, but it's going to be stolen away by Piper Metling and to the basket and drops it in for 2. Taggart fell, got it up, passed it off, and then her teammate got it to her. She dribbled it behind her back, but unfortunately lost it on the way and gave it up to Metling. But Metling took it to the basket and delivered on the 2 to make it 11-2. Pass inside for Rowan Fahey. It's no good. Rebounded by Rhea Johnson up the court to Brooke Boland, who drops it in for 2. Great pass by the Dragons. And we're going to get a timeout called here by Hinckley-Finlayson. So while they take a timeout, we'll take a timeout as well. You're listening to girls basketball here on Anthem Country 106.5 FM AM 1350 WCMP.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare, information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available. Go online to pine.edu for more information. Pine Technical and Community College, connect with success.
Baseball and softball coaches, are you looking for dry, warm practice time?
Here's the Pitch in North Branch can help. Here's the Pitch offers amazing indoor options for your team.
Offering state-of-the-art pitching machines and batting cages.
And space for you to give instruction without worrying about the weather outside.
Take your athletes to the next level.
Coach up your team during every season or off-season. Affordable practice space for your ball teams.
Make your reservation today.
Call Here's the Pitch today or visit them on Facebook.
Here's the Pitch in North Branch.
I want to thank all of our fine sponsors who sponsor this and every other broadcast that we do in this Great River Conference girls basketball game between the Jags and the Dragons. Dragons lead 13-4 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. There's Ritchie bringing it up the court. Looking, trying to give it over. Tried to give it to Storley, but it's nearly stolen away. Piper Metling looking to her bench and coach and saying, I almost had it. A little too strong on the poke, though. Jags will get it inbounded. Taggart starts with it, gives it off to Ritchie. Ritchie gets around 1. Bounce pass to Taggart. Now underneath, trying to go to Raby. She keeps it alive for the moment, and it's stolen away by Klepper. Quickly up the court to Paige Gray, and then she dunks it underneath to Klepper, who drops it in for 2, and it's 15-4. Storley will try to work it up the court. Again, only a freshman is Storley. Taggart with it. Now back to Storley. Back to Taggart. They got 10 seconds. And now, unfortunately, that 10-second violation is there. You have 10 seconds from the time you inbound it to get past that half-court line. And Hinckley-Finlayson did not do that. And unfortunately, that will be the 10-second violation. So Pine City will inbound now. Reddy Ganote looking. And she'll inbound to Paige Gray. Brecken Reiser is in the game. And now Metling with it on the elbow. Metling waiting for the offense to get set. Gives it to Klepper. Klepper gives it over to Ganote. Ganote back to Gray. Gray with 8 seconds to shoot. Now 7, 6. Metling. A long 3 is going to go just long. And unfortunately for the Jags, it's knocked out by Raby. So couldn't keep it quite alive, so it will stay with the Dragons on that missed shot. 15-4, the score. 9:46 to go in the first half. Paige Gray going to get fouled. And she'll go to the line and shoot 2. Third foul on Hinckley-Finlayson, the first on Raby, and now Paige Gray at the line to shoot 2. First one's up and good. For Gray. Brooke Boland back in for Mallory Klepper. And Gray good on both. So now 17-4. Dragons with the lead. Trying to go up the court quickly. Here's Ritchie. Holds on to that ball. It was trying to knock it away was Melling, but she did a great job holding on to that ball. Taggart gives it off far side to Storley. Storley was open for a moment, but defense closed in on her quickly. Now she's open for 3, and that one's just off the mark, and Metling is there for the rebound. Metling and this offense going to get moving quickly. The transition offense trying to move as fast as they can. But great transition defense by the Jags. Bolin takes it to the top of the key to reset the offense. Now gives it to Metling on the far side. Metling looked at Gano. Then she finds a lane inside. And before the foul, she's going to travel. Yeah, it looked awkward because she picked up her dribble pretty early on, trying to keep that ball away from the defender's hands, but just too early on the pickup of the basketball there, and it's a travel call, and the ball will be turned over to Hinckley-Finlayson. This ball is going to be inbounded to Ritchie. Ritchie will go up to Storley now, and Storley gives it back to Taggart. Taggart trying to get around the defender. She got a screen from Storley. Now she gives it off to Blowers. Blowers, and that one's going to be stolen away by Paige Gray all alone and drops it in for 2. Paige Gray with her first steal of the evening. It's 19-4. Storley on that far side gets around Gray, making her pay for that steal a little bit. Now on the near side elbow, she picks up her dribble. Wanted to go to Taggart. She's guarded well, so she'll give it off to Taggart now. Taggart was guarded as well. Now over to Ritchie. Ritchie fakes the 3, trying to drive inside. Gives it to Blowers. The turnaround jumper is no good. Rebounded by Raby, and now by Ganote on the missed shot from Raby. Metling gives it off to Bolin, trying to go inside with it. Not sure what she was thinking on that pass. Maybe through the legs, but it's going to be stolen away by Ava Blowers. Yeah, not real sure what Bolin's idea was there, but she's going to get it back anyways. I think she might have tried to get a little too fancy with it, go between the legs on the pass, but the defender was not allowing that, and then she gets the steal back as it was kind of fumbling through hands for Hinckley-Finlayson. Gray with it on the far side to Metling, back to Gray. Gray going to take the 3. It's going to come up short, and it's going to be rebounded by Blowers. Right now, Pine City offensively doesn't seem to need maybe to get the second chance scoring opportunities. It just doesn't seem like that's the game plan right now. Meanwhile, Ritchie with it for the Jags. She gives it back to Taggart. Gets a screen, now guarded by Ganote. And that shot, is that 2? It's going to be 2. Either way, it was a good shot by Taggart. Nonetheless, a good-looking move for another good-looking shot. And now it's 19-6, under 7.5 to go. Bounce pass from Boland over to Metling. Metling looks, will bounce to Ganote. Ganote holding it. Gives it near side to Reiser. Reiser thought about 3. Instead, she'll have to give it off to Gray. Gray now over in the near side corner for Metling. That's off the mark, but Paige Gray is there for a rebound. Underneath, Boland grabs it on the missed pass from Gray, but Boland is fouled, and now she'll go to the line and shoot 2. 42. I think they'll get Blowers on that one. Ava Blowers, her second, team's 4th, and again, Boland at the line now to shoot 2. First one's up and good. To make it 20-6. A couple substitutions here for both squads, and into the game for the first time here tonight is Rachel Brown for the Dragons. Boland no good on the second one, but Klepper comes up with the rebound. A 3 from Klepper on the far side is good. Klepper from 3 on that far side made it look easy, and it's 23-6. Meanwhile, Fahey with it, trying to get around Brown. Fahey inside, Unverzad to give off to Ritchie. Beautiful give, and beautiful job by Ritchie to not only sit there and be open, but to sit there and be open and not be obvious about it and not draw attention to herself. So great job there by Eris Ritchie. Rhea Johnson thought about it, gives it off to Boland, who's wide open in the corner for 3. That's going to be no good. Kate Unverzad trying to get the rebound. Ritchie, unfortunately, couldn't catch up in time, is going to knock it out of bounds. It will stay with Pine City. No, they're going to overrule. The ref overruled the other and says it's going to go and be Pine City ball. It was close on the sideline, but I wasn't sure which way they were going to call it. This pass from Ritchie over to Fahey. Fahey now at the top of the key. Looking, gives it over to Storley. Storley finds a lane inside. Shot is up. No good. They're going to get Johnson for the foul. And Rhea Johnson will pick up her first. So her first, team's second, and that sends Storley to the line for 2. And we'll get a timeout called here by the Dragons. It'll be a full timeout, so while they take a timeout, we will as well. here on Anthem Country WCMP.
Brad here from Lee's Pro Shop in Pine City. We're a full-service lettering shop with a full line of athletic supplies for any sport. We have professional staff here at Lee's Pro Shop to customize your orders. We are the pros who specialize in athletic apparel and equipment. We even do trophies and awards as well as computerized engraving in the store. Let Lee's Pro Shop help you with any athletic apparel. Lee's Pro Shop, servicing our communities since 1973, where the passion for sports begins.
The mushroom melt is back at A&W. How does this sound? Sautéed seasoned mushrooms and onions with melted Swiss cheese on your choice of a juicy burger or grilled chicken. Then add golden French fries and a medium soft drink. It's the mushroom melt and fries combo at A&W. Now, top it off with a classic A&W root beer float featuring vanilla soft serve and made fresh root beer, all in a frosty mug. Or how about the A&W root beer freeze? Signature combos and delicious treats always at your local A&W restaurant in Pine City.
Back here on WCMP, girls conference basketball going on. Great River Conference, Jags and Dragons going at it. It's currently a 23-8 lead for Pine City, but Jags are at the line to shoot 2 free throws with Brooklyn Storley. The first one is no good. Oh, you're ready for a second. Storley. Oh, that one rattles out. But luckily for her, Windsor Scott, her teammate, is there to grab the rebound. Now we're going to get a jump ball call here, and the possession arrow points the way of the Jags, so they'll hold on to it. 5:57 to go. Inbound to Windsor Scott. She's wide open on the near side, and she gets called for the travel. So she must have shuffled her feet. I didn't quite see it, but again, I'm not on the court either. Inbound here from Boland to Klepper, and then trying to get it up to Rhea Johnson, but well out of the reach of Johnson, and the ball will be turned back over to Hinckley-Finlayson. Certainly frustrating for Pine City there on that one. Ritchie has it on the far side. Thought she had a lane. She'll stop at the top of the key, gives off to Storley now. Storley back to Ritchie. Ritchie had to reach back for that one, but she still grabs it. Ritchie trying to drive inside, give off on the far side. Blowers. Blowers, long two is no good. Storley's going to come up with the rebound for Hinckley-Finlayson. These are the rebounds that Pine City has got to have. Pass, beautiful pass inside to Storley, but it is no good. Rebounded by Boland. And if you're Hinckley-Finlayson, those are the shots that you say to your players, we got to have those. Those are the ones that are must-have shots. Meanwhile, Boland gives off Johnson in the near side corner for 3. Rhea Johnson drops it in, makes it 26-8. Under 5 to go. Ritchie up the court, slowing it down just a little bit, lets the offense get set, gives it over to Storley. Storley trying to give back inside to Ritchie. Off the glass and in for 2. Beautiful shot from Eris Ritchie. If I remember correctly, she has made those shots more times than not. I know I've seen her play before, and I'm just trying to remember. It was so long ago. But now a beautiful pass inside from Boland into Kate Unverzad, and Unverzad draws the foul, and she'll go to the line and shoot 2. Another foul, unfortunately, here on Ava Blowers. It's her 3rd and the team's 5th. And we'll see if they have her sit the rest of the first half or if they'll have her play it out. Meanwhile, Kate Unverzad is good on the first, and looks like they will, unfortunately. So Blowers will have to sit the rest of the first half, and coming in for her is McKenna Raby. Metling is back in for the Dragons, as is Gray for Rhea Johnson. Shot is no good on the second one here by Unverzad, and then inside. Ball up for grabs. And was rebounded by Klepper initially, then shot was missed inside by Boland, and then rebound up for grabs again will be taken by Hinckley-Finlayson. I think that was Storley again going after it. It's a timeout here by Hinckley-Finlayson. It will be a 30-second timeout, so that means we'll keep it here. 27-10 is the score on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard with, I think, under 4.5 to go. It's been a first half that got off to a really fast start for both teams, but then Pine City kind of got that start to kind of lean in their favor. But then all of a sudden, it really cooled down, and it just seemed like Pine City, I don't want to say the effort wasn't there because anytime you're out on the court, the field, the mat, wherever you have to give some sort of effort to be out there. But it just didn't seem like the energy they were supposed to have was there. But again, both these teams are dealing with a change in time. We're playing earlier. We just got out of school. Now we got to figure out, okay, now do we, stay at school? Do we go home? Do we have time to go home? The routine all gets thrown off. So both teams are dealing with that. Up the court now to Windsor Scott. Oh, pushing the back there. And now this ball is going to be knocked out of bounds, unfortunately. They're lucky. Fahey pushed a defender in the back there as she went by. A little bit frustrated, but, ooh, that did not look good. Got to be making sure we're not making silly fouls. But now this pass can be stolen away by Taggart. To the basket, in for two. 27-12. Pine City back inside, and a good pass from Klepper to Boland, wide open underneath the basket for two. But man, the Jaguars will not go away easy here in this one. They'll inbound to Taggart now. Taggart will give it back to Fahey. Fahey real quickly up the court to Storley. Storley left alone for three. It's no good. Rebound, Raby. Ooh. I think he's arguing that. No, I thought Patrick Joe was going to argue that maybe that ball should be Pine City. So I thought initially after the ball went out of bounds that it was knocked out by Hinckley, but not the case, as now the Jaguars do have it back. Taggart with it will step back to the Dragon logo, give it off to Fahey. Fahey inside, lost it. Ball is still up for grabs. It's going to be taken by Retta Ganote. Ganote finds it first, and quick up the other way. Klepper inside. Nice move. Drops it in for two. She's trying to jumpstart the offense a little bit as it has gotten a little bit cold. Now the inbound pass is stolen away by Klepper. She gives to Boland. Boland misses, but the miss caused by the foul from Hinckley-Finlayson. They'll get this one on Rowan Fahey, her second, team's sixth. And again, Boland at the line now to shoot two. 31-12 is our score, 3:08 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. First one's up and good by Boland. Sub here will come in. Windsor Scott in for Fahey. Or excuse me, for Taggart. Boland. Pine City 50% so far on these free throws, but again, Klepper there for the rebound. Now we get a steal here by Storley, and she drops it in for two. Steal by Storley, then drops it in for two. And this pass inside, again, a little careless with the ball are the Dragons. And so right now, Pine City just a little careless with the ball at this point. They're trying to, I think, force a few things right now, whether it be passes, shots. They're just being a little too careless with the ball, and because of that, Hinckley-Finlayson has capitalized on some turnovers. Give credit to the Jags. I mean, they're doing a really good job of just capitalizing on what Pine City is kind of just giving them. Klepper inside, then back outside. Metling for three. That's just off the mark. Rebound. Metling going to grab her own. Metling then drives to the basket. A little too strong on that shot. Gray with the rebound, and Gray gets fouled. She'll now go to the line and shoot two. They're going to get, I think, 14, which would be Windsor Scott for her first. Team seventh with 2:20 to go, 32-14. Gray at the line to shoot two. First one's up and good. Unrazad and Reiser in for Boland and Metling. So now 33-14. And good on that one. So Gray drops them both in to make it 34-14. Jags trying to bring it forward with Fahey. Fahey having a little bit of trouble, but then she finds Eris Ritchie, who you can always count on her being open. But then she has it stolen away by Klepper, and Klepper jogs it to the basket and drops it in for two. Jaguars get through traffic, bring it back up the court now. On the near side, Windsor Scott, Storley, then back to Windsor Scott. Windsor Scott will get out of the corner, trying to go inside. It's going to be stolen away by Kate Unverzat. Unverzat takes it the other way, pauses, gives it to Ganote, now to Klepper, who was open for three for a moment, gives to Gray. She was open for a split second, back to, good grief, Klepper. Now to Gray and inside to Klepper and right inside to Ganote. Ganote tries to throw, oh man. Travel, yeah, she had that ball and she went to shoot it, but then the defender was in the way, so she had to pull the basket down. And when she pulled the ball down, she unfortunately shuffled those feet, and that caused the turnover. And now Klepper, steal on the inbound, cannot get the shot to fall, and it's going to be rebounded by Fahey. These are the points that Pine City just simply has to capitalize on. But now a pass intended for Ritchie from Fahey is a little bit over her head, and it's going to be Pine City ball. Taggart will check back in for the Jags for Fahey. Again, the Jags a little short-handed here this evening. So the Dragons get it back again, catching a break on that last turnover, or missed shot rather, that they had. And Razat will get the inbound, then gives it over to Klepper, and now the pass a little too strong again. It's going to be Windsor Scott who gets the steal this time for the Jags. Taggart shot is up and short, rebounded by Klepper. Klepper takes it the other way herself. Up, too strong. Unverzat got the rebound. Now over to Reiser. Reiser trying to find somewhere to go with it. Gives it off to Ganote. Ganote to Klepper. Klepper left alone from three. That's going to be off the mark. And rebound grabbed by Raby. She gives it to Taggart. 40 seconds to go here in the first half. On the far side, Storley. Storley goes back Taggart. Taggart guarded by Klepper. Now gives it outside to Windsor Scott. Windsor Scott gets around the defenders, gives back outside. Taggart trying to drive baseline, gives it back Storley. Turnaround jumper just off the mark. And Klepper will get the rebound. 22 seconds to shoot. Shot clock is off. Or 22 seconds left. Shot clock off. There we go. Klepper will give it over to Reiser. Reiser, I think the Dragons will just try and take some time off the clock before getting that final shot of the half. Trying to go inside. Another pass that winds up being ill-advised. Windsor Scott with the steal. 3 seconds to go. 2 and 1. And, Windsor Scott not paying attention to the time on the clock. Tried to pass to someone, and the pass was off the mark. So Pine City does lead at half, but certainly some things to clean up here in this one. They do lead 36-14 at the half, but certainly some things they'll want to clean up here at the break. Jaguars doing the best they can with being shorthanded, but, they have done actually a pretty darn good job of again, taking advantage of what the Dragons have given them at this point in the game. So a commercial break here first, and then after that commercial break, we'll be back to recap the first half of action here in this Great River Conference matchup in this girls basketball game on Anthem Country, 106.5 FM, AM 1350 WCMP.
Dale's Heating and Appliance, your local heating and appliance expert, is committed to making your family's comfort their top priority. And now you can add water softeners to their list of expertise. Dale's now offers water softener sales or rentals along with installation, service, and salt delivery. So if your home needs quality water, make the call to your already trusted experts at Dale's, or just visit dalesheatingandappliance.com. dalesheatingandappliance.com.
Need reliable energy? Burnett Dairy Cooperative has you covered with top quality propane services. Whether you're heating your home, running your business, or firing up the grill, our propane is safe, efficient, and always dependable. Choose Burnett Dairy Cooperative Propane, your trusted partner for all things energy. Stay warm, stay powered, stay local.
Loading the kids in the car, brokering peace in the back seat, mastering the snack handoff without even looking. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple, so you can worry about more important things, like figuring out what's growing in that cup holder. That's simple human sense.
Contact your local auto owner's agency, Pine Insurance Agency, at pineagency.us today.
Arrowhead Transit, your community, your ride. Arrowhead Transit is proud to support this station and bring you reliable public transportation in your community. Whether you need to get to work, school, or the doctor's office, our friendly drivers and comfortable buses are here to serve you. We're committed to connecting communities and making transportation accessible for everyone. Arrowhead Transit is your community partner in getting around. Arrowhead Transit is a supporting sponsor of the station and is dedicated to supporting our local communities.
Are you ready to get back to doing what you love? Whether it's recovering from an injury or preventing one, Wellia Health Sports Medicine Team is here to help. From kids to adults, we specialize in treating sports injuries, including concussions. We're here to get you back to peak performance. Call us today at 320-679-1313 or schedule an appointment through MyChart. Visit welliahealth.org.
Dragons lead at halftime on the Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard 36-14. Taking a look at some of these stats from the first half of play, leading the way for the Jags. It was both Hasten Taggart and Eris Ritchie with 4, then 2 for Storley, Windsor Scott, and Blowers. They had 6 steals. They were 0 for 2 from the free throw line, had 17 fouls, and then they were led in rebounding by Raby, who had 4, and then they had Blowers, Fahey, Windsor Scott each had 3 rebounds as well. On the other side for the Pine City Dragons, leading the way was Mallory Klepper with 11, 8 for Paige Gray, 6 for Brooke Bolin, 5 for Rhea Johnson, 4 for Metling, and 1 for Kate Unverzat. They were led in rebounding by Klepper with 7, then 5 for Metling. They had 12 steals, 2 blocks. They were 8 of 12 from the free throw line and 2 fouls. And the Dragons will certainly be looking to better their free throw percentage, just because, again, at one point they were 50%. It was make one, miss one, make one, miss one. It was I think you could tell, a little bit frustrating for them at one point, but they've been doing a good job of getting some of these second chance scoring opportunities off of the missed free throws. So for Pine City, they're going to have to find a way to get more second chance scoring opportunities and do a better job boxing out on the defensive side. Right now, defensively, the Jags are doing a really good job of getting some second chance scoring opportunities for themselves, and Pine City just not boxing out real well. They've done an okay job, both teams have, but I think right now the Jags would have the edge in that one if there was some sort of edge to have. But yeah, for Pine City, in that first half, a fast start for both teams. Pine City started to get out to that little bit of a lead, and then it cooled off for a good chunk of time, and then Pine City was able to get things going again at the end of the half. But you could tell there was just a little bit of frustration for Pine City. I think they got a little careless with the ball. Certainly, they turned it over far too often, or just unfortunately gave it up, or the passes were too long. Just a few little things that are they're just not on right now. And again, sometimes it just takes a halftime. Sometimes you just got to get through playing a rough first half, and then you get into the second half, and all of a sudden, boom, it looks a lot better. But for Pine City, again, we've talked about games starting a little slow for them. They haven't got off to the best of starts. This was a good start, but kind of that middle part of the first half was kind of the part where it was like, oh, man, they're struggling to get things going once again. Now, obviously, it's hard to continue to score back and forth. I mean, you're running nonstop, so it's not easy, but for Pine City right now, I think especially the way that they have gone these last 3 games and the way they expect this team to finish the regular season, this has got to be a point where you're saying to the young ladies, hey, we got to be better. If we want to continue to play like we have the last 3 games and continue to get better, grow, and then get on a run for the playoffs and try and get a home game for the playoffs, we got to play better. We got to rebound better. We got to box out better. We just got to be better, and we have to focus. They got to focus in a little bit, I think. Again, the mix-up in the time of the start of this game, again, that sets off your routine for the beginning of the game. It makes you have a hard decision of, how do you get to go home? Maybe some of these players get to nap before they get to go to a game. Maybe they get to go home, get to eat a little bit, get a little bit of energy for their system. We don't know. So both these teams dealing with it. But right now, Hinckley-Finlayson doing a really good job of, under the circumstances they have here today, for the reason for this one starting early, they're doing a really good job. They're keeping their heads up. They're battling hard. They're playing with a lot of emotion. They're playing with a lot of effort, and I've loved what I've saw from Hinckley-Finlayson. One of the things I'd like to see from Hinckley-Finlayson is some of the possessions that they've had. I'd like to see them slow it down maybe a little bit. There's certainly plenty of time to get back into this one, down only by 22, so if you're Hinckley-Finlayson, I think they've rushed a few of their possessions here in this first half. And I think if you're Hinckley-Finlayson, I think you're looking at the young lady saying, hey, I like the movement. They're moving the ball really well. Passing right now for Hinckley-Finlayson is on. One of the things, though, that you'll say is, hey, we got to watch the turnovers. We're getting a few too many turnovers. got to take better care of the ball just because Pine City's getting some steals, but we're passing the ball well. We got to continue to do that. We got to maybe slow things down offensively just a tad. That way, we're getting a better view of what we're shooting at. We're setting our girls up better for more open shots, and then again, I think if you're Hinckley-Finlayson, you've got the threat to shoot from outside from many different players here tonight. Taggart obviously being one of them. Windsor Scott has looked from outside. Eris Ritchie is not afraid to take a shot from outside. Plenty of players on this squad can shoot it from outside the three. So if I'm Hinckley-Finlayson, I might think about working this ball inside a little more, get Pine City to crash the paint, and then pass back out to get your girls open from three. For Hinckley-Finlayson, I think that might be the key here in this second half, to try and get more shots from outside and catch back up a little bit faster. Obviously, you can work the ball inside. They've done a good job. We've seen plenty of their players find an open cutting lane to the basket, and they've got to the basket and dropped it in for two. So they've got the ability to do so, the athleticism to do so. It's just about executing the play to the best of their ability. So I would like to see Hinckley-Finlayson maybe do that a little bit more here in this second half if they're able to. For Pine City, again, clean things up, maybe get that focus back on track, get that energy back up, and start to really kind of pull away. I think if you're Pine City, they're thinking to themselves, maybe we should be out in front a little bit. Maybe if we could have had less turnovers. Well, there's a lot of maybes, but there's only one thing for sure. We're going to have a second half of basketball coming your way here in about a minute and a half. So word from our fine sponsors, second half of basketball then coming your way.
A Lennox air source heat pump is a high-efficiency air conditioning unit that can also heat your home or business during the spring and fall. It's more economical than heating with propane. Have Dale's Heating and Appliance install your Lennox air source heat pump. Ask Dale's how you can receive up to $1,000 in rebates for your air source heat pump system. And ductless mini splits also qualify for up to $1,000. Visit dalesheatingandappliance.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
The Duluth Sports Show is back February 13th through 16th.
Be amazed by Sarah Twister, the incredible performer who balances on her arms while shooting a bow and arrow with her feet.
Explore the latest in marine electronics and catch expert demos from top fishing and hunting pros.
Plus, enjoy Field and Flame cooking demos. Try your luck in the trout pond and get your trophy rack scored for free.
Come for the deals, stay for the fun.
February 13th through 16th at the Deck in Duluth.
Your ticket to outdoor adventure awaits at DuluthSportsShow.com.
Back here on Anthem Country, 106.5 FM, AM 1350. Game Day Gilman out here for this Great River Conference matchup between the Dragons and Jags. Dragons lead 36-14 as we get ready for the second half of action. Again, both teams have played well at points. Both teams would like to see a little bit more consistently on both sides of the ball. I think for Pine City, turnovers you got to cut down on if you're Hinckley-Finlayson. Keep up the pressure. Defensively, I think they're doing a pretty good job defensively, but offensively, I think to get some more open shots, I think work that ball in and out to make Pine City crash the paint a little bit more and then find some shots from outside because, again, they have the ability to shoot from long range. 18 minutes are back up on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Dragons and Jags set to go. It will be Pine City who starts with it in the second half. They'll go left to right on your radio dial. Jags right to left. It will be Klepper to start with the ball. She'll give it over to Gray. Gray now looking to Klepper. Klepper pausing, waiting, gets out of the corner, wants to go to Metling. Metling trying to cut to the basket, gives it underneath the Gray. It was knocked away. I think that was Windsor Scott who knocked it away on the block. And it's going to be, I think it was stolen by Fahey. So the Jags get it back. Fahey trying to get around Ganote, gives it over to Storley. Storley gets a little bit of a mini screen, then back to Fahey. Fahey looks at the basket, drives, shot is up, just long, and then, a tough bounce on the rebound attempt. It's going to go and wind up in the hands of Metling. Metling takes it on the near side. Looking, gives it back top of the key to Klepper. Pass a little bit short, but she gives it over to Bolin. Now back to Metling. Metling looking and goes back to Klepper. Now Klepper drives, gives it on the far side for Bolin. Bolin, nothing there. She'll give it to Metling at the top of the key. Back over Bolin. Bolin looking, gives it to Ganote. Ganote trying to go inside to Metling. No look pass to Klepper. It's going to be well short. Bolin trying to get the rebound. It will be knocked out of her hands by Storley, and it will stay with the Dragons. And it will be Ganote getting set to inbound. Inbound goes to Bolin. Bolin trying to find a lane to the basket. She gets through the contact and draws the foul, and she'll go now to the line to shoot 2. Look at this one on Storley, her first, team's first of the second half, and Boland is at the line to shoot 2. First one's up and good. First one's up and good. Second one is as well for Boland, so 2 for 2 that trip to make it 38-14. Windsor Scott was in some trouble. She'll give it off to Taggart. Now back to Windsor Scott, looking, pausing, backing up. And they've got 10 seconds. That's the 10-second mark, and it will be another 10-second violation for Hinckley-Finlayson. And the ball will be turned back over to Pine City. Full court pressure by Pine City, and that will turn it back over to them. Hinckley-Finlayson just unable to get out of that pressure that they faced. Inbound to Klepper. She looks. She wanted to go to Gray and maybe even Ganote, but pulls it down instead. And now looking, she'll go to Gray on the far side. Ganote open in that corner, but they'll go back to Metling. Metling will take the 3. It's good. And Metling drops in her first of the night. Been a little frustrating from long range so far, but they finally get one to drop. Now Windsor Scott gives to Fahey. Now over to Taggart, and just too tall for Taggart. It goes out of bounds and will go back to the Dragons on the turnover. Klepper will get it inbounded from Metling. And Klepper with it gives to Ganote, now to Gray. Gray will give to Klepper. Storley there to guard. Now to Ganote inside Klepper. Bounce pass for Boland. Gets through contact again and draws the foul, and will get Boland to the line to shoot 2. And this one is going to go against Fahey, her third and the team's second. Greenwald does not agree with the call. I think he was saying that Boland maybe got an elbow into his player. First one is no good by Boland. Boland, second one is, though. 1 of 2 to make it 42-14. And the Jags do break the press. And now Fahey with it, lost it. It's going to be stolen away by Brooke Boland. Boland up on the far side to Gray, to Ganote for 3, just off the front of the rim. Gray is going to wind up getting the rebound. She gives it to Metling, and to a cutting Boland to the basket for 2. Boland all of a sudden getting hot here to start the second half. 3 of 4 from the free throw line and 5 points. Windsor Scott trying to get around Boland. She gets a screen from Taggart, trying to go inside there to Blowers. That pass was tipped, and Blowers has to pull it down. Now she'll give it outside to Fahey. That shot is long, and then trying to get the rebound, but it's going to wind up in the hands of Ganote. Quickly up the court. Gray is wide open underneath the basket. It circles the rim a couple times, but Ganote, or excuse me, that's Gray. I apologize. Gray will drop it in for 2. Gray for 2. It's 46-14. Taggart give to Storley. Trying to drive baseline. She just puts up a shot. It's going to be off the mark. And Windsor Scott gets the rebound. Great effort there by Windsor Scott. Oh, then tried to give it back, but Boland is there for the steal. And now to Gray again. She gets a little too far behind the basket, but somehow still winds up dropping it in for 2. I don't know how Gray did that. She wound up getting it a little too far even with the basket, and then somehow still got that one to fall on the great angle. Shot is up here by Fahey. It's no good. Rebounded by Klepper. They'll go again to Boland. Back to Gray, and Gray drops it in for 2 again. Wow, what a play. Klepper to Boland, Boland to Gray, Gray for 2. 50-14. I think this is kind of what the Dragons were hoping for in the first half. Storley lost it. The pass went off her foot. It's going to be stolen away by Retta Ganote. Klepper, she'll bring it up the court. She'll slow it down just a little bit. Gives it out Boland on the far side. Now into a cutting Ganote. Ganote drops it in for 2. 52-14. This is how the Dragon offense wants to be moving. Defensively, they've allowed few too many open shots like that one, but Storley gets the rebound. And Storley battling with Metling, and it's going to wind up being a jump ball. The possession arrow favors the Jags. Rhea Johnson and Breckenreiser in for Gray and Metling, and then you've got Ritchie and Raby in for Taggart and Windsor Scott. 13-31, 52-14, Dragons with the lead. Jaguars will inbound. You got Ritchie out there again. She's a danger to really shoot from anywhere. She's also a good presence to have inside with those long arms. She can really get that ball off the way she wants. Another player with some longer arms is Raby. She's got some longer arms and gives her a little bit more radius to kind of get a longer layup. Storley trying to take it to the basket. That's going to wind up just short. Raby trying to keep it alive. She does. To Blowers for the official rebound. And then Ritchie for three. It's just short. Blowers with the rebound is off the mark and rebounded by Breckenreiser. Good opportunities there for Hinckley-Finlayson. And if you're the coach, you'll say, hey, we got to make one of those opportunities fall. But this time it will not for them. And Pine City will get it back. Good note on the far side. Klepper off the mark. Too strong. And rebound by Storley. I've been impressed by Storley. She has not been afraid to get in and do the dirty work, so to speak, in the paint where there's been a lot of contact, a lot of hands up around the head and neck area. Not purposely, obviously, but just trying to grab rebounds. And she's done a good job of just keeping her concentration on the ball and making sure she gets it and brings it down for a rebound for her team. Been really impressed with her here in that regard. As now we get Ritchie with it, and they're going to get a foul this time. We're going to get Windsor Scott. Or, excuse me, not. That's wrong team. Windsor Scott won't get the foul. It's going to be on Good Note. Her second. Team's first of the second half. So now Fahey has it off the inbound to Storley. Storley back to Fahey. Fahey on the far side looks for a screen. Gives inside Storley. Storley. Shot was blocked by Klepper. So block goes out of bounds. It will stay with the Jags. Fahey will get set to inbound on the near sideline. Gives it into Ritchie. Ritchie into the near side corner. Looking for a screen. She'll dribble it out. Goes back to Fahey. Fahey with the ball fake now. Dribbling. Gives it over to Storley. I think that ball was tipped, so it won't be an over and back as Storley goes back and gets the loose ball. This pass to Fahey. Fahey lost it. It was knocked out and stolen away by Boland. And quickly up the court they go. Boland with it. No look to Ganote. Ganote thought about three, but Storley was there with a hand in her face. Now Boland will dribble. Try to give to Reiser. It's going to be stolen away by Raby. Again, Raby just stepping right in front of that one. Knew exactly where that one was going. Over to Ritchie from Storley. Gets a screen. Ritchie trying to drive inside. Back outside Storley. Storley trying to get an edge. She now gets a screen. She'll drift over into that far side. She's going to circle and try and get to the basket. Klepper is there again for a block. And unfortunately, that one's going to go out of bounds. Boland showing off the hustle, though. And now we'll see Gray, Metling, Brown, and Unverzat in for, looks like Boland, Klepper, Ganote, and Reiser. Windsor Scott is in for the Jag. She comes in for Raby. Or excuse me, not Raby. Okay, someone else. Raby with the ball. She almost lost it over there with great strength to keep hold of that one. This ball is up for grabs again. It's going to be stolen away by Gray, and now we're going to get a foul call here, I believe, on Fahey. She tried to hold on to that ball. It wasn't a mean foul. It wasn't anything ridiculous. It's just she's trying to get that ball back, and when she went for the ball, she actually grabbed the hand of the Dragon player. Not quite sure who that one was on. I think it was Fahey, but not quite sure. We got the foul on the board, but not on the player, so I apologize. We do have a foul, though. It's the third for Hinckley-Finlayson. Pine City has the ball back. Unverzat to Gray. Gray trying to go inside to Johnson. Trying to bounce past to Unverzat. Instead, will take it herself. Unverzat up over everybody for the rebound. On the far side, gives to Metling. Metling gives to Unverzat for three. It's no good. And then we get a foul here on Gray, I believe. By the way, the foul is on Fahey. Paige Gray will pick up her first team foul. Her first foul, team second. They only had two in the first half. Now they're second. Taggart will come in for Fahey. Again, Fahey will wind up sitting for a little bit of time because that was her fourth foul, unfortunately. So she'll have to sit for a little bit. But she'll be back in for sure. Taggart with the ball. Gives it off to Ritchie. Ritchie got a screen. Give back inside Taggart. Taggart with the soft touch, but not soft enough, unfortunately. And Reiser will get the rebound. Give back to Gray. Gray will lead things for the offense. Give over to Metling now. Metling drives baseline, trying to give it, I thought, to Gray, and then the shot was up and no good. Rebound there for Blowers. And Blowers bringing it up the court down to Taggart. Taggart on the near side for Ritchie. Ritchie head fake, now drives, trying to get through contact. She draws the, oh no. She's going to get called for the travel. So the travel comes before the foul call, and the ball goes back to the Dragons on a turnover. Gray up the court quickly to Reiser. They had a Kate Unverzat cutting to the basket, but Reiser just couldn't quite get around the defender for a good enough pass to kind of get it off. That was a smart play, though, by Reiser. Just to, she knew she had her, but smart play not to pass that one off because of the good defense. Now Unverzat will give it off to Metling on the far side. 9 seconds to shoot. Give it over to Unverzat. Unverzat trying to go inside with it. Shot is up. Oh, off the rim. And we'll give Blowers and Raby both the rebound because they both grabbed it at the same time. 52-14, under 9.5 to go. Taggart with it, gives it to Windsor Scott. She gets a screen. Knocked out by Paige Gray. Stolen by Reiser. Up the pass to Gray, and Gray will drop it in for two again. Little bit of a scoring lull between these two teams, but Gray ends that lull and drops that one in for two off the steal from Reiser. Taggart passed it off to her teammate, but as soon as she passed off, we got a timeout called here by Hinckley-Finlayson, and they'll take a full one. We'll be back after word from our fine sponsors here on Anthem Country WCMP.
At Burnett Dairy Cooperative, we're more than just your local dairy. We're also a trusted propane provider, serving homes, farms, and businesses across northwestern Wisconsin and east central Minnesota. Whether you need a tank installed or reliable delivery, we're here for you 365 days a year with flexible options that fit your needs. As a farmer-owned cooperative, we're committed to supporting our community because your home and farm deserve the best. Call 715-689-1032 to learn more. Burnett Dairy Propane, serving you with pride every day of the year.
You gotta stop somewhere, so make a stop into the Holiday Station store in Pine City and start saving. Right now, grab CK Oil, save $2 when you buy two, or CK Diesel DEF treatment for only $23.99. While you're at Holiday, they still have the $3, $4, $5 meal deals on some of your favorite items, and Refresh Team Spirit with Mountain Dew are 3 for $6. Or Celsius, buy one, get one free. Whoa! Better get into the Freeway Holiday Station store in Pine City.
Anthem Country 106.5 FM, AM 1350, WCMP. The Dragons lead on that Embrace Orthodontic scoreboard, 54-14 over the Hinckley-Finlayson Jaguars. Bolin, Rhea Johnson, Klepper, Reiser, and Ganote out there. Unverzat was out there, but then got a word from her teammate Bolin that says, hey, we got 5 already. One of us got to get off. With it is Raby, and just kind of waiting there at that spot. Finally gives it to Storley. Taggart has a little bit of a lane. She'll shoot it up over Klepper. It's going to come up short. And Ritchie, great effort for that rebound on the baseline. This ball is going to be knocked out by Rhea Johnson. It will go back to the Jags, and the clock will run and continue to run. We will not have a stoppage unless there is a timeout. Taggart with the ball, gives now to Blowers. Blowers gets a screen, trying to get past Ganote. Looking, wanting to go inside. 3 seconds to shoot. Taggart with it. 2, 1. Storley not going to get it off in time. Oh, they're going to let that play out. Oh, my goodness. Well, that's all right. Pass from Ganote up to Rhea Johnson. She misses, but rebounded by Ganote herself, and she'll put it back for 2. So 56-14. Ritchie gives to Taggart, back to Ritchie on the near side. Ritchie trying to drive. Nothing doing, though. So now she'll try and look. She'll give it out to Storley now. Storley will reset the offense at the top of the key, but under 10 seconds to shoot once again. Over to Taggart. Taggart on the far side. Gives to Storley. Storley gets a screen. She'll shoot from just inside the three-point line. It's no good. Rebounded by Klepper. She has now a double-double. That her 10th rebound. Klepper will kind of wait for the offense to get set. Gives it over to Rhea Johnson. Lobbing it in for Brooke Bolin, but too high, and it's stolen away by Blowers. Tough pass there. You know, Johnson was trying to get it over the defender, then kind of dropped right into Boland. That's a tough pass to make. I don't care where you're trying to make that pass. That's a tough one to make. So not blaming her too much on that one, but it will be a turnover, unfortunately. So now Metling, Gray, Unverzad, and Brown in for Johnson, Boland, Metling, and Reiser. Inbound, Storley gives to Taggart. Taggart gets by one. Drive inside. Shot is no good, but Raby's there for the rebound. This one's going to be no good, and Kate Unverzad with the rebound. Gray with it now to Metling. Metling looking, calling for the offense, then gives it to Unverzad now to Gray. Gray wanted to go back to Brown, but the defender's hand was there, so she couldn't give it back to her. Brown in some trouble. She'll dribble out of that double team. Lost it. Stolen away by Taggart. Taggart trying to take it all the way. She's guarded by Gray. And then, they're going to get oh my goodness. A late foul call there on Gray. And there's, I'm going to respectfully disagree on that one. That's just good defense there by Gray. I respectfully disagree on that call. So Taggart, though, is at the line to shoot 2, and this will be the first first chance the Jaguars have had to try and get their first points on the board of the second half. It's been a tough go of things here in half number 2 for the Jags. Taggart drops it in, and that is their first points of the second half to make it 56-15. Full court press, and Metling does a good job to spot Gray wide open underneath the basket, but then Gray cannot get the shot to fall. Oh my goodness, one that you have to have if you're Paige Gray. It's unfortunate because for them, but you know the Hinckley-Finlayson Jaguars, they'll take that. Raby with the rebound. Left alone, drive to the basket for Fahey. Shot's no good. Rebound Blowers puts it in for 2. The Pine City Dragons caught lacking there. Got to be better. But now they'll get it up the court. You know, Gray's probably kicking herself for that one, but you know, it can't be 2 down because you get another chance. Again, she's made plenty, but that'll be something that they just work on trying to perfect. Pass inside, a dangerous one to Unverzad. The shot is up, no good. Another rebound for Raby there. I believe that's 8 now for her. Under 5 minutes to go. Taggart will get it, and she'll bring it up the court. Taggart will give now to Fahey. Fahey back to Taggart. And another foul there going to go against Gray. Gray with her third, all coming in half number 2. Team's fourth, and Taggart at the line to shoot 2. Clock is at 4 minutes and running. First one's up and good. Reiser, Johnson, and Boland in for Metling, Gray, and Ganote. 56-18. And Taggart cannot get both to fall. So 1 of 2 that time, and Brown gets the rebound for Pine City, her first on the evening. Gives to Rhea Johnson, now to Boland. Boland top the key, give over to Johnson. Johnson looking, gives back to Reiser. Reiser over to Boland. Boland gets by one defender, trying to get by another. Lost it. Stolen away by Raby. Raby has been everywhere for this Jaguar team, and although she doesn't have any points on the board, her presence has certainly been felt. Taggart drive inside for 2. Nice shot there by Taggart, but defense for Pine City just kind of falling asleep a little bit on that one. Unverzad on the far side, lost it out of bounds. And these last few minutes for Pine City have been extremely frustrating. Just not necessarily lack of concentration or effort, but just it just has not been there right now for Pine City. And Hinckley-Finlayson taking full advantage. Taggart with it again, trying to drive inside. That ball's up for grabs. It's going to be knocked out by Reiser. So we'll stay with the Jags. Under 2.5 to go. We'll have 3 seconds to shoot. Inbound to Blowers. Shot is up and good. Yeah, give credit to Hinckley-Finlayson. They're not giving up yet. I mean, this for Pine City though, you're gonna have to look at those last few minutes and say, hey, what went wrong? Why did this happen? Again, unfortunately, this one is more or less in hand for Pine City, but still a nice 3 there for Rhea Johnson, kissing it off the backboard for 3, 59-22. Give credit to both teams, man. Pine City came out real quick in the second half, got things going the way they wanted to. But Hinckley-Finlayson, as of late, has just been doing phenomenal. As we see a missed shot there. Rebound by Reiser. Now we're going to get a jump ball, and the possession arrow points the way of Pine City. Storley back into the game for Taggart. Under a minute and a half to go. Boland gives to Brown. Brown waiting, wants to go inside to Unverzat. She's guarded well. Then gives out to Johnson. Johnson now to Reiser. Reiser looking, trying to find someone. She finds Boland on the far side. Her and Johnson were at the same spot, less than ideal. Unverzat now to Brown. Brown for 3, just off the side of the rim, and another rebound for Raby. That's 9. Can she get one more before the game ends? Give her 10. Again, hasn't gotten on the board point-wise, but her presence has certainly been felt. This one in and out for Windsor Scott, rebounded by Boland. And she'll bring it forward, trying to go inside for Umberside. Oh, my goodness, somehow that one was knocked away off the backboard and then taken by Fahey. It's technically a steal because it wasn't a shot. Fahey will go for the shot. No good. Blowers with the rebound. This one's still up for grabs. Boland will get the rebound now, and she'll guard it away from everybody. Under 20 to go. Shot clock is off, and that should do it. So a little bit of a game that took both these teams off some routines and forced these teams to maybe play a little bit differently than they wanted to, but a good battle tonight nonetheless in this Great River Conference matchup. Unverzat will hold on to it, and that will be it. The Dragons get the win here over Hinckley-Finlayson, 59-22. They will get yet another win in their 4th in a row here late in the season. Again, starting to get that late season run going for the Dragons, and they certainly couldn't ask for much better. But they'll look to shore some things up here as they do go along. We'll take a commercial break. We'll hear from our fine sponsors. Then we'll get our recap, our A&W Player of the Game, and our coaches interview as well.
Embrace Orthodontics offers a unique specialized approach to orthodontic treatment with custom braces or Invisalign. The team at Embrace loves getting to know their patients personally and takes the time to make sure all your questions are answered. Their board-certified orthodontists use only the latest in modern technology to give you the best outcome possible. They work with your insurance company and offer flexible financing options to fit your budget. Call today to set up your free exam and see how Embrace Orthodontics can transform your smile. More online at embracemn.com. That's embracemn.com.
And here's the pitch.
Here's the pitch, the premier indoor batting cages in North Branch. Whether you're trying to make the team or take the team to the next level, Here's the Pitch has state-of-the-art pitching machines for both baseball and fast-pitch softball. $35 gets you cage time with your own pitcher. $40 gets you cage time using one of their top-tier pitching machines. Screens, plates, helmets, they've got the equipment, you provide the batter. Find Here's the Pitch on Facebook or visit here'sthepitchmn.com. here'sthepitchmn.com.
Hey there, sports fans. Brad here from Lee's Pro Shop in Pine City, and we have a Lee's Crazy Sale going on. It's time to gear up for hockey, basketball, wrestling, or volleyball equipment, as it is all 20% off. That's right, 20% off all your favorite hockey, basketball, wrestling, and volleyball equipment. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, Lee's Pro Shop has everything you need to take your game to the next level. So don't wait. Stop by Lee's Pro Shop today. Save big on your favorite sports equipment. Hurry in for Lee's Crazy Sale. Lee's Pro Shop, where the passion for sports begins.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
Back here on Anthem Country WCMP, Great River Conference game that has come to an end with the Dragons coming out on top over the Hinckley-Finlayson Jaguars, 59-22. Taking a look at some of the stats from this game, leading the way for Hinckley-Finlayson was Hayes Taggart with 8, 6 for Ava Blowers, then 4 for Eris Ritchie, 2 for both Storley and Windsor Scott. 9 rebounds each for Blowers and Raby to lead the team. They had 12 total steals, 6 in each half. They were 0 of 2 from the free throw line in the first half. In the second half, they were 2 of 4 to go 2 of 6 in the game. They also had 10 total team fouls. On the other side for the Pine City Dragons, Paige Gray led the team with 16 points, 11 for both Mallory Klepper and Brooke Boland, then 8 for Rhea Johnson, 7 for Piper Metling, 4 for Retta Ganota, and 1 for Kate Unverzat. 10 rebounds for Klepper to lead the team, 6 then for Metling. They had 18 team steals, 12 in the first half, 8 in the second half, and they were 10 of 15 from the free throw line, 5 blocks, and 6 total team fouls. 3 blocks came from Mallory Klepper herself, so again, coming up big there in the steal department. But again, in this one, the Dragons get the win, an important win, and they now move and get 4 in a row on the season, and that is that's a good start for them on this 5-game stretch in which they feel like they need to win all of them. And they get a rematch here on Thursday against Aiken. So a big one coming up as we do have our A&W player of the game coming to join us. It will be Paige Gray. So we'll get her the mic. We'll get her an A&W player of the game certificate. And Paige, first of all, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
And this one here, another conference game and a win for you guys. It started out kind of quick, and then there was a little bit of a lull there. What was the message there when things kind of went silent for you guys, scoring-wise?
Just to stay disciplined, keep on playing our game, and don't go down to that game, and just keep on playing with energy.
Absolutely, and again, you guys played quite a few games last week, coming off a win on Friday. Now this is your 4th in a row, but what was the message to you guys? Again, this one started a little bit earlier than you're used to, so I'm guessing routines got a little bit mixed up, but what was the message to you guys about this game?
Just to come out with energy, come in with that energy that we won in the previous games, and just, playing together, stay low on turnovers.
Yes. Yeah.
That's really all.
Yeah, you guys did a really good job of that here in the first half. Really good defensive effort from you guys. It seemed like things were really going your way. Turnovers were a big thing that you guys had. Takeaways, though, I think that was a big thing. What was the message from Coach Judd there at halftime?
Halftime, it was stay low on the turnovers, keep on playing our game, be disciplined, and just keep on playing with energy.
And you got off to a really hot start there in the second half. You guys were finding the turnovers again, getting that ball stolen away, but you were able to find some open shots wide open underneath the basket. What goes through your head when it's like that? Is there any sense of urgency, or is it you're just relaxed and ready to shoot that ball?
Tonight, relax. That was good.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked good. And, again, you guys played really well defensively in a game like this. I got to imagine it's a confidence boost for you guys because it's another conference win. It's the 4th win in a row. How does the team feel now?
We are much better as a team. We have all that energy going forward into all of our games. It's just a big energy boost.
For sure, and you guys will have another game here Thursday. You'll get a rematch against Aiken. That game was only a few-point loss for you guys. Obviously, you get to enjoy this one, but what is the feeling going forward, and what are you guys trying to do there on Thursday?
Just compete and get back what we didn't get last time.
Absolutely. Well, Paige, thank you so much for joining us. Congrats on being the player of the game, and good luck going forward.
Thank you.
That, again, was Paige Gray, our A&W player of the game, and we should be soon joined by the head coach, Patrick Judd, but while we have a second, again, I want to thank you all for tuning in and the fine sponsors for sponsoring this and every other broadcast, so we appreciate all of you. But, again, a 59-22 victory here in this one for the Dragons. Another conference win and another win, again, just in general. They are now 4 wins in a row here in this stretch, and they look to continue that going forward into Thursday to try and pick up that 5th in a row. Again, what you heard Paige say, trying to get back what they didn't get, what they felt was rightfully theirs earlier in the season. Again, only a 5-point loss, but Aiken on the season, they play out of Section 7 2A where the Jaguars play as well. And right now they're 14-6, 6-3. So that's going to be a good matchup. But Pine City on a roll now. They're 12-9 on the season as they go into Thursday. That Thursday game is an important matchup for Pine City. It's a 5-game stretch where Pine City has just been doing so well. We'll now be joined by the Dragons head coach, Patrick Judd, and we were just talking with our player of the game. But this one, good defensive effort from your team. Got out to a pretty quick start, but then there was a little bit of a lull there for you guys. What was the message during that time?
Yeah, just need to make sure we stay hungry and keep trying to find ways to move the ball around a little bit faster. It felt like we got kind of like just what we call sticky fingers, where we just hang on to the ball a couple seconds longer than we need to. But I thought the girls overall did a pretty good job of trying to, listen to what we asked for them to do, like running the offensive plays that we called out, and we didn't get too stagnant at times like we could have been. But overall, it was a good performance.
Yeah, and defensively, again, another good defensive performance here in the first half, holding them to 14 points. What was the message to the girls at halftime based off that defensive performance?
Yeah, I just told them, there's a couple baskets that went in for them that maybe felt like that shouldn't have gone in, so it kind of felt more like a 10-point give up in that situation. But no, I thought we did a good job of making them one and done and not giving them like 3-4 shots at offensive rebounds and things like that. So once we did that and we got out and ran a little bit, we just kind of opened up that gap that we needed.
Absolutely, and then the second half, you guys got off to a really hot start. The turnovers, you guys were able to take the ball away quite often, and then you got some wide open shots with Paige Gray underneath the basket. What was the message to them there during that stretch where it seemed like everything was going your way?
Yeah, it's tough because we've been on both sides of this before. As a team, you don't want to like run the score up on people and stuff. So we pulled off the press, but we said we still want to play good defense and not give up points. And then if we get transition opportunities, we have to have like a 3-on-1 or a 3-on-2 or something like that. If it's not in our favor, then we're going to pull back. We're not going to make bad decisions and get lucky or do things that are going to put ourselves into bad situations. So
certainly, and obviously you'll enjoy this win, but then an important game coming up on Thursday, and I'm sure the entire team's thinking about it going forward. But that's one where maybe earlier in the regular season thought probably should have had that one, but now you get a chance here at home. What's the message to the girls about that game?
Just what you said. We know we owe them one, and if there's any game that we probably wish we had back early in the year, that was definitely one of them. And we just need to come out with that, feeling of like, hey, this is our home court. Let's represent it. Let's have a big game here. It's also our Hoops for Hope night, so a little cancer awareness night. So that's going to be fun to support that and hopefully get some donations for that too to help support the breast cancer awareness. So
absolutely, big night for you guys. And then obviously this stretch of games here has been kind of a gauntlet for you guys. It's been a lot of games in a short amount of time. You get a little bit of rest here, but then you'll get a rest after Thursday. But what is kind of that message to the girls to just try and keep them focused on the game and not so much maybe the fatigue that might set in?
Yeah, I think we've done a really good job over the course of the last couple of weeks too of just making sure like, hey, if they need a little bit of a lighter practice, we gave them a lighter practice. Just get their legs back underneath them again. We kind of have that opportunity here this week on tomorrow maybe if we wanted to do that, but at the same time we know we got to keep pushing forwards on trying to get better every time we step on the floor. So that's the main message, is just every time we get out there, get 1% better.
No doubt, and obviously playoffs are right around the corner. Do you even have to, or what is the, what do you tell the girls to make sure they're focusing one game at a time and not maybe looking too far ahead?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say because, this year's team's a little different than last year's team, but I would say that with us, we literally take it one game at a time just because of the fact that we're trying to, A, have a winning season, B, we're trying to set ourselves up for a good playoff positioning. And, we may have to have some help along the way too, but I think we don't even talk about playoffs right now. We're just talking about what can we do to be better the next time we play a team. And, credit to our girls that they listen to the scouting report, they follow it, they understand what we're trying to get done. And I think that's what I'm more proud of, is that we're not focusing ahead, we're focusing on the here and now. So it's good stuff.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, congrats on the win here tonight, and good luck going forward. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Go Dragons.
That, again, was Patrick Judd, the head coach of the Dragons, and again, a good win for his team here tonight. A conference win, nonetheless, and that is important as they go forward. Again, now 12-9 on the season after their fourth win in a row, and they've got probably the biggest one of the last few weeks coming up here on Thursday, where they get to host Aiken. Again, that game against Aiken earlier in the year was their third game of the season. Unfortunately, their third loss in a row, but they lost only by 5 in that game. So a chance for some revenge as they move to .500 in the conference at 5-5. So some important wins here for Pine City, important games as they continue their stretch going forward. Again, that game on Thursday, but then it starts up again next week. They'll have 2 games next week, so a little bit of a break here from these last few weeks, but then they get to host Bram and Mora next week before finishing it up with Spectrum on the road, and then Royalton at home on Friday, February 21st, before the seeding comes out February 23rd, and then playoffs start, I believe it is February 27th. So a lot coming up here at these last three and a half weeks of basketball for all these teams. Again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in, all the fine sponsors as well. And remember, you can stay tuned to all local sports on our morning shows. Catch all the updates from games from the night previous on 95.5 FM with Rock and Robin Riley at 7:30 and 8:30. Then over on 100.9 FM with Josh O'Meara at 7:45 and 8:45. For your local sports updates, we'll talk local sports, we'll talk regional sports and national sports as well. And also another way you can stay tuned is our websites at WCMP Radio and KBK.com. The broadcast schedule is under the sports tab. You click on broadcast schedule, and that will show you the links for the games that we got coming up that week. Also, another way you can stay tuned is not just our websites. That'll have that on there with interviews from players and coaches and game recaps of articles, but also you can stay tuned to our social media, both our Facebook pages, our Instagram page for both stations, and our Twitter at WCMP Radio for all things local sports. So be sure to like, subscribe, do whatever you got to do to stay up to local sports there on all of our social medias. Again, we'll have more there, as well as interviews and breaking sports news, broken records and LOI signings, so much on our social medias. But again, the final here in this one, the Dragons beat the Jaguars 59-22. Again, we know Pine City's got that important game coming up on Thursday. That is going to be of the utmost importance for the Dragons. Can they get the 5th in a row? And can, more importantly, they beat Hinckley-Finlayson? For the Jaguar girls, they will play right away tomorrow. They'll have a doubleheader over at Ogilvie. That'll be another tough game for them, but a winnable one as well. And then they won't play again until next week. And so they'll have one more this week. They'll be playing tomorrow at Ogilvie, and then they'll have a good rest here for the rest of the week and then play again next week. So both these teams getting some much-needed rest after this week. Again, the final on this one, the Dragons beat the Jaguars 59-22. For WCMP, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, be kind to everyone. You never know what someone is going through, and your kindness could really make their day. For WCMP, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. Thanks so much for tuning in, and have a great rest of your night. Great rest of your night.